Yes, indeed. It is 9 a.m. on the East Coast here on WEZE Radio AM 590 on this 10th day of the new year, January 2026. And yes, indeed, it is time for another edition of the Amazing Grace Sports Network here. Today, Kevin Chisholm with you here alongside the other Morris brother, Craig Morris. Good morning, Craig.
Good morning.
And good morning to you, Marty Simmons.
Morning, Kevin.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Good to be back. Thank you very much.
Kevin.
And we are without our leader here, the ringleader, the parade leader, whatever leader it is you want to call him here of the Amazing Grace Sports Network. The leader of the band, Clay Morris, who is taking a well-deserved time off here.
Yep.
Clay has been the architect of this program, and ever since I came aboard with him, he's not taken a day off.
Really?
Even down in Florida, he's done the show.
Wow.
And he's taken some time off, and so well-deserved, my friend.
Good thing.
We miss you very much, and him and I are overlapping. I was out last week. He was out this week. So, Clay, I miss you, my friend, and we'll see you soon, but well-deserved time off for you.
Like two ships, Kevin, passing on the night.
Exactly right. Exactly right. So true. So I know he's listening now, and I'm sure we'll get all the critiques and all the commentary from him as well. Hey, maybe we'll hear from him as well throughout the day. So, gentlemen, nice job last week. I was able to listen to the show out of the country. You know, it's amazing, given how technology has evolved, how many streaming platforms this station and this show are on. Not just the restream and the YouTube, but, you know, you look up WEZradio.com, but on other several streaming platforms, and the usual, the Odyssey, the iHeart,
Audible,
all these other stuff. But all these different websites that I'm not even sure, I would even have stumbled upon, but here we are. So it just goes to show that wherever you are today listening to us across the country and even around the world, there are many places for you to listen to the Amazing Grace
and we're
Sports
glad to have you.
Network.
There's no excuses not to listen.
So true, so true. So yes, indeed, I'm Kevin Chisholm alongside Marty Simmons and Craig Morris. This is the Amazing Grace Sports Network on WEZ. We're live here Saturday morning. One thing that I want to touch on as well, which I don't often say, we also rebroadcast the show on WROL, AM 915 F 100.3 on Sunday, so tomorrow morning. So hello from the past, and for the folks listening to us on Sunday as we make our predictions today for Wild Card Weekend on the Saturday games. Let's hope we're somewhat accurate on that. So, well, a lot to get to here on the show today. Wild Card Weekend here in the NFL. Big matchup at Gillette tomorrow night, Sunday, 8 o'clock, between the Patriots and the Chargers, and other games to get to, along with, if time permits, maybe some talk on the Celtics and the Bruins, or whatever it is you want to talk about here on the show today. The phone number, 844-249-5247. But before we do any of that, here, we're going to begin with prayer, of course, spiritual warfare, Tony Evans, and I'll turn things over now to Craig Morris to lead us in prayer this morning.
All right. From Dr. Tony Evans' book, Prayers for Victory in Spiritual Warfare, we're going to go from Chapter 8, Letting Go Unforgiveness, Section 5, the Helmet of Salvation. Lord, I guard my mind against past hurts by putting on the helmet of salvation. I refuse to harbor thoughts of anger, hate, revenge. I choose instead to dwell on the thoughts of forgiveness and reconciliation. I will pray for the well-being of those who have hurt me. I ask for the Lord Jesus to bring blessings into their lives, show them their sins, and release them from their bondage. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen. Clay's already said we're sounding good, so we're off to a good start. You can see there the prayers for victory in spiritual warfare from Tony Evans there on the screen as well if you're watching us on the stream. Well, we're going to turn now to our joke of the day, which is the newest installment here at the Amazing Grace Sports Network. And I swear Clay has a secret joke book that he keeps to himself here. I don't know where he finds these jokes, but he's always able to produce them. And so I leave it to the capable hands of Craig and Marty to give us this week's edition of the joke of the day.
Here we go. All right.
Give it a try.
The scene is a busy garment district in New York City at 4 p.m., rush hour time. There is a man standing on a ledge outside the window of the 6th floor. He is lamenting his day-to-day drudgery of his life. He gets up, goes to work, then goes home, watches TV. He has no wife. He has never been married. He has no kids. Up rushes a good Irish cop. The cop leans out the window and says to the man,
"Hold on there, boyo. This is all. Think this over. We have all the traffic stopped. Bikes, cars, planes, and trains. The mayor himself is watching this. We are all pulling for you." The man said,
I have thought it over. I don't have a car or a house. I live in a tiny apartment. Nobody loves or cares about me. What is there for me to live for? I'm better off dead. The cop said.
Don't jump. Think of your dear father.
The man replied, I haven't got a father.
Think of your dear mother.
Well, how about
The cop said, well, how about your sister or brother? The man said no.
I was an orphan, and nobody loved me or ever felt good enough to adopt me. I lived in the orphanage until they kicked me out. I have nobody, and the man readied himself to jump.
Hold on there, boyo. Hold on. Think of the Blessed Virgin Mary. She loves you.
The man replied, Who's that?
Jump, you Protestant. You're blocking traffic.
There we have it.
I'm not sure where he comes up with this stuff.
I don't know, but I mean, it's a funny joke. I mean, I definitely do get it, but I do not know where it originates from.
Well, we'll leave that for him to divulge someday. But it's great, clean Christian humor here on the Amazing Grace Sports Network. That was, of course, the joke of the day. Alrighty, gentlemen, why don't we get into our Today in History? 3 questions to get to here, as we mentioned, had a lot to talk about. So jump right in here. Today in History here on the Amazing Grace Sports Network.
Today in History.
Even with him not here, he's here. He's here.
He always finds a way to give us a good laugh.
Exactly.
All right, here we go. 96 years ago today, the Boston Bruins won their NHL record with a 14th straight game, a streak that began on December 3rd, 1929, against the Canadiens and ended January 12th, 1930, with a loss to the last place New York Americans, a mark that stood for 52 years before the Islanders broke it in 1982, a streak that began on December 3rd, 1929, against the Canadiens and ended January 12th, 1930, with a loss to the last place New York Americans, a mark that stood for 52 years before the Islanders broke it in 1982.
Mm-hmm.
Our question is, who owns the longest winning streak in NHL history?
Well, just to think, and there's a picture there of the 1929-1930 Boston Bruins team. A lot different than the current NHL.
Helmets, nothing.
And they brought the old automobile out onto the ice, too. There.
Wow.
Look at that.
Is that the Zamboni?
Very fancy. That must
That's
be
gotta be
something.
it's got to be the Zamboni.
Zamboni of
But
the time.
just to think that in 1930, that record wouldn't be broken until 1982.
Yeah.
And then, of course, a few years later after that, the record that still stands to this day, and we won't give you the answer.
It's an easy question, folks. Give us a call.
An easy question if you're a hockey fan.
844-249-5247.
Alrighty, from the NHL to the NBA, Craig.
Right, sticking on topics of winning streaks. Don't remind Clay about this one. Actually, he might like it.
He may like this one.
Yeah, all right. 54 years ago today, led by the future Lakers star Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the Milwaukee Bucks beat the LA Lakers 120-104. Ending LA's consecutive win streak at 33, the longest win streak in Major League Sports history. No NBA team has topped the record, but who has come closest, and in what year did they do it?
A little more recently, that team did.
Indeed.
There's a photo there on the stream of Kareem with the Milwaukee Bucks next to the late, great Wilt Chamberlain there, playing with the LA Lakers. And I will say the Lakers hold, as you mentioned, the longest winning streak out of the Big Four professional sports. And nobody really's come close. Well, somewhat close, but nobody has broken that record yet. So that still stands. Alrighty then, gentlemen, from NHL, NBA to NFL here, from the spirit of Wild Card Weekend and all things NFL playoffs, we go back now to 1982 here. Yes, indeed, it was January the 10th, 1982, the iconic game-winning touchdown reception by Dwight Clark, thrown by, of course, the great Joe Montana. The catch, as it's called, of course, the back of the end zone. 58 seconds left in what was the 1981 NFC Championship game, held 44 years ago to the day, securing a 28-27 victory for the San Francisco 49ers over the Dallas Cowboys, America's team, of course, launching what was to be the 49ers dynasty with Joe Montana, and they went on to win their first Super Bowl that year. Question, who did the 49ers beat in said Super Bowl a few weeks later after advancing over the Cowboys?
Wow.
Craig, do you remember that one? Marty and I went around for that one.
Yeah, I was around for that.
Yeah.
Before my time.
And we have a photo here of it, of course. Probably
82. I was the ripe old age of 9.
You were 9?
Yeah.
Probably one of the most if not the most
Wow.
iconic catches in NFL history. Obviously, in more recent years, we've seen, one-handed catches. We don't like to talk about, of course, the helmet catch from David Tedder. We won't mention that, but
did not happen.
but there have been some really iconic catches, and that one certainly tops the charts there. So
Wow.
who did the 49ers beat in that Super Bowl? And it was a close game, too, if you remember it, back there in 1982. Greg and Marty with you here, Kevin Chisholm as well. Gentlemen, we got a lot to get to here today on the show. Football, basketball, hockey, but really whatever it is you want to hear today. 844-249-5247. Before we get into our wild card weekend discussion of all things NFL matchups here for the playoffs, why don't we say hello to some of our great sponsors here who do keep us rolling each and every weekend right here on the Amazing Grace Sports Network. Our good friends at Dillon's, Philcomp Computer Center, and Karma. Saying hello to them here as the show rolls on right here. This is the Amazing Grace Sports Network on WEZE.
Hey, are you feeling a little achy or sore from the cold weather? Then take a visit to Dillon's Russian Steam Bath. At Dillon's Dry Sauna or Wet Steam Room, you can de-escalate, de-stress, and detox your body and mind. A hot place of massage or a variety of oil massages are available. You will enjoy the relaxed atmosphere that features a nutritious snack bar, large screen television, and comfortable lounge chairs to cool off in during your visit. They have 2 convenient locations, one in Chelsea and the other in Quincy. Find them online at Dillon's Russian Steam Bath or call 617-549-3484 for more information. To enjoy your best health, visit Dillon's Russian Steam Bath, where heat, steam, and water have a therapeutic effect.
Well, my friends, I want to talk to you about computers. Is your computer screen cracked or have a black screen? Is it slow to charge or does it exhibit abnormal battery drainage? Does your PC run slow or have keyboard issues? Well, then Philcomp Computer Center, located at 1690 Dorchester Avenue, is your remedy for all your computer medical problems. Philcomp Computer Center has been in the computer repair, upgrade, malware removal, and data recovery business for over 20 years. Whether your computer is a Mac or IBM-based, give them a call. Their number, 617-265-1910. That is 617-265-1910. To solve all your computer problems, our good friends at the Philcomp Computer Center.
Do you want to live a happier, healthier lifestyle? Do you want to get rid of back, hip, and neck pains? Then look no further than Karma Don Yoga. Karma is an accomplished and experienced yoga instructor who specializes in total body restorative yoga. So whether you are young or old, short or tall, in shape or out of shape, Karma is your best choice. Check out her classes and times at karmadonyoga.com. That's karmadonyoga.com. Your body and mind deserve good karma.
Well, of course, I want to thank all our great sponsors, Karma, of course, Dillon's, and particularly here in this cold weather, and of course, Philcomp Computer Center for all your computer needs. We're going to hear from some of our other great sponsors a little bit later on here in the show. Again, the phone number, 844-249-5247. Gentlemen, let's talk about Wild Card Weekend. The regular season of the NFL is complete.
How have we gotten here already?
We are here. It feels
Season
like
has flew by.
Feels
Yes,
like Clay and I were just previewing the Patriots season, and well,
Not expecting them to be where they are.
exactly right. Well, I got to give great credit to your brother Craig, because he was the one who said the Patriots. This was the year the Patriots were going to overthrow the Bills in the AFC East, and I told him he was crazy, but he stuck with it. He stuck with it, and I give him all the credit for it.
He had hope.
Hey, there
He
it
had
is.
hope. I had hope too. Listen, at the beginning of the year, I think a lot of Patriots fans, with the addition of Mike Vrabel, with the second year of Drake May, with the pieces they brought in, with the schedule they had, obviously, I had them about a 9 or 10 win season. Listen, we'll take
We'll take what
we can get here. There's no doubt about it. We'll also take 14 wins here. It feels
Exactly.
like we'll always take that. And honestly, probably they easily, I think, could have gone at least 15-16 in some of those games. You look at the
That
first game against the Raiders, which was just a strange comedy of errors. The game against Pittsburgh, which they should have won at
What
home.
they should have won. Yeah.
And
that was at home?
That was at home.
That was at home.
And then the game, all 3 losses
All
have
3
been at
losses
home.
that time. Even that
Wow.
Bills.
Yeah, well, they had a 8-record streak out on the road.
Yeah. And they had a
under-
lead on the Bills before they were
Exactly. A big lead, too.
Exactly.
And undefeated on the road as
Yeah.
well. A couple of comeback wins, particularly,
Road
of course,
Warriors.
the ones against Baltimore just a few weeks ago. So the Patriots took care of business last week against the Miami
Yes,
Dolphins
sir.
at home, and then some. Here they are, the number 2 seed, officially clinching that, and of course we know the AFC. So they welcome Jim Harbaugh, Justin Herbert, and his company, the LA Chargers, to Gillette tomorrow evening, Sunday night, 8:00 matchup here.
Time.
Prime time is right on NBC. And well, the last time the Patriots hosted the Chargers in a playoff game was at home, and that was in the divisional round back in 2019. And then, of course, to end the 2018 season, then, of course, the Patriots, they won the Super Bowl that year. So
Mhm.
Justin Herbert is looking for his first win in the playoffs. He's 0-2 so far in his still young career. Obviously, Justin Herbert's had great success in the regular season, obviously, but he's having some obviously some issues in the playoffs. So, gentlemen, what are your thoughts on the Chargers-Patriots matchup here in Wild Card Weekend?
I do believe Patriots will pull it off. Might be a close game, though, because, Chargers defense is playing real good.
Yeah.
They've been playing real good for the last couple of weeks.
They got to put some heat, though, on Justin Herbert.
Exactly.
Because without that, then they got to get everything controlled.
They got to get something, man.
Right.
They got at least got to touch him.
Yep.
Scare him a little bit, because if you let him sit back there in the pocket, he'll pick you apart.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
Kid's got a cannon for an arm, so you don't want to give him that much time. But we'll see.
I think Drake May's ready, though.
Yeah.
I think he's ready to go into the playoffs.
Yeah.
I think he had a good schedule this year, and he had a good season.
I think that's where everybody gets it wrong. They're just waiting for this kid to, falter,
Right.
I guess, and they're using the fact that he hasn't been in the playoffs before. It's
Right.
only his second year, so. But I don't see that in him. Like, even when he's had rough patches over the season, he's been able to, rise above them, and does a pretty good job of that. So I don't feel any fear for that. I think it will be a close game, though, but I do think the Pats will pull it off.
Just got to keep having faith, folks.
Indeed.
That's all we got to do.
That's it. That's all we got.
What about you, Kevin? What are you thinking?
Well, I like the Patriots in this matchup here. I fear for any team going into Gillette Stadium to face off against the way the Patriots are playing, with the way Drake May is playing going forward. I think obviously the Chargers have a good offense when they play.
Right.
When they play
When
well.
they play,
Obviously they
yeah.
got Herbert, they've got McConkey, they've got a number of weapons here. We'll see if Hampton, the running back, is able to play. He's questionable with an ankle injury. And we'll see what the Patriots have to say with some of their injuries as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, on the offensive side, they lost Matt Collins. Obviously, he's in the IR. They've
Yep.
got Diggs. They've got Pop Douglas. Obviously, Kyle Williams, and we'll see what role Efton Chisholm.
Efton Chisholm.
Exactly right. And of course, the 2 tight ends, Hooper and Henry, of course. And
Exactly.
we'll see if Keyshawn Booty's able to play as well. He's questionable
Yeah.
with a hamstring injury as well. So I
Don't
like the
forget about Ramondre. Ramondre's been doing pretty good.
He has been,
Yeah.
much to your brother's chagrin.
Exactly.
But he was calling for
Yeah.
Ramondre to be cut.
I know.
He
he had no faith in Ramondre.
Yeah, he doesn't. He does. And I don't think he still does. But listen, Ramondre had a great game against
He
the Dolphins.
did.
He loves playing against the Miami Dolphins.
Yes,
so
he does.
that's for sure. Well, and the Patriots and the Chargers faced off against each other to the second to last game, I think, of the regular season last year. The Chargers came into Gillette and beat the Patriots 40-7. So
40 to 7.
40-7
It
last
was a
year.
whole different team.
Little different
was.
team and
It
a
was.
lot different year.
But
That's
you would
for sure.
understand the reason why the Chargers would have a little bit of confidence after
Exactly
that.
right. Exactly right.
But they weren't as focused as they are now with the
Exactly.
season. So
So true. So true.
hopefully we sweep them off their feet.
Let's hope so. Again, the Patriots seeking their first home playoff victory since that 2018 season, which, of course, allowed them to go to win the Super Bowl. Gentlemen, looking at the rest of the AFC, we'll talk about some of these other matchups as well. The big focus obviously has been Denver, but with the way Jacksonville, with the way Houston has ended the year here,
Yeah.
and you never can count out Buffalo as well. And also you got Pittsburgh, who snuck in there thanks to a missed field goal.
Thanks to a missed field
against
goal.
the Ravens. Any teams still besides Denver? Any teams still stick out to you as a team that I wouldn't want the Patriots facing going forward?
Probably Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Out of everyone, you got Trevor Lawrence doing his best Josh Allen imitation.
Mhm.
He's been He's been pretty consistent for the last, what are they, on an 8-game streak or something like that? They've just been winning out. So
Great defense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the defense has been tops pretty much all year.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of took a little dip mid-season, but now they're back. And, yeah, for what I'm seeing, the Jaguars look scary.
They certainly do. And a lot of these pundits are, the question, who's going to go to the Super Bowl? I think for a first time in a while, we're seeing a sort of wide open AFC. It's not
the parity.
It's not
nothing's guaranteed.
It's there's no guarantee.
Yeah.
You don't. If it's not Brady, if it's not Mahomes, well, who's it going to be?
Right.
And most of the guys that we were thinking are gone.
Exactly
we only
right.
got Josh Allen around.
Exactly right. So I certainly would think this would be is a wide open race. I think the game that I'm circling here, besides the Patriots Chargers, of course, is the game on Sunday afternoon in Jacksonville, between the Bills and the Jaguars. I think that's going to be an absolute shootout here for this wild card matchup here. Two teams that are coming in strong with two great offenses between Trevor Lawrence and Josh Allen. And Trevor Lawrence has been doubted before, but he has proven himself. That is the question, and that is for sure. But the question is, going forward in a deep playoff run, can he prove himself? And I think that'll remain to be seen. Let's go to the phones now. Caller, good morning. Welcome on in.
Yeah, guys, listen.
Oh, my gosh. Hang up. You're supposed to be on your break.
But you started talking about Ramondre Stevenson, the guy that I want to cut after the third game of the season. I mean, after the two fumbles and what was it, 2 or 3 fumbles in the first game, but second game with Pittsburgh, or whatever the case may be. Yes, I was wrong. The guy, he's back.
At least you can admit it.
Good. Yeah. Does anybody else think that he runs in slow motion though, but me?
I mean, it's kind of a change of pace. You got the other kid who's fast, and then you got Ramondre, who's pretty much the power back. So you got both of them. So
Clay reminds me of LeGarrette Blount. Remember him from about 10 years ago or so with the Patriots, of course.
No, don't denigrate LeGarrette.
Wait a minute. He always falls forward. He's not a Lawrence Maroney. He doesn't go to the side. He always falls forward. So in that manner, he does remind you of LeGarrette Blount.
And Craig, those guys don't know about Lawrence Maroney. They weren't around.
I understand, but I do. So I'm telling you.
I know about Lawrence Maroney. Of course I do.
See?
Of course I do.
No baloney, Lawrence Maloney. Hey, listen, guys.
No baloney, Lawrence Maloney.
That was him. No, he's full of baloney. But anyway,
with the toe injury.
With every injury, he was always injured. But I look for the Patriots to have a good game against the Chargers tomorrow. And I don't think it's going to be close. I think it will be a 14-point blowout. They're going to do them in pretty good. And good luck with the Jacksonville. Kevin's team. That's Kevin's team. Kevin wants Jacksonville. He is on the Jacksonville bandwagon and has been.
But you got to respect what they did this season.
Right.
That defense has been tops all season, except for that little middle part where they had to deal with some injuries and stuff. But they're back now, and they're back playing at the top tier.
Seems like they're back and stronger.
Exactly.
I mean, Clay, they've won 8 in a row, and they've averaged 33.5 points a game. Okay. Since that streak. So, of course I'm going to like him. Of course I'm going to like him. Any team that can march into Denver like they did and pick apart the Broncos like Trevor Lawrence was able to do.
Yeah, that's a problem.
And by the way, mind you too, Buffalo is 0-5 under Sean McDermott on the road in the playoffs as well. So I would give you that. I would give you that statistic.
And for a large part of this week, they've had Buffalo actually winning over those guys, which I didn't understand, because if you flip the record, there would be no question.
Well, now the odds are that Jacksonville is favored by 1.5. I think it opened as Buffalo was the favorite, then it did flip. As pundits have begun to
come to their senses,
have begun to say that Jacksonville can make the playoffs. But Clay, we were talking about, and I want to get your thoughts on this, how wide open the AFC is. You don't have a Brady up, so you don't have Mahomes in there. It's wide open. Would you think it's fair to say that any one of these teams, maybe with the exception of Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers, who knows, with the playoffs, can potentially head to the Super Bowl here as the AFC champion? What say you on that?
I think they could, but I think the favorites got to be the Patriots. I picked them to win the division, as you noted. Yes, and these guys are playing with house money, but they're really good. They're really good. I think they're better than most people think, and we'll see if they prove me out. Speaking of winning, last week Craig took it. He took it with a 12-4.
Took it home.
That's right.
Yep.
12-4.
I was 10-6, and Marty, you were 8-8.
You know, we're not going to talk about that, Clay. We're not going to talk
Better
about
look.
that. I have you, Clay, at 11-5.
That's 500 right there.
Well, that's close. But anyway, it's going to be Kevin and Craig going for it today. Those guys are really good. So if there's any pundits out there who think they know what they're talking about when it comes to picking games, you better listen to Kevin and Craig today because these guys have the pulse.
Don't listen to Marty. Don't listen to Marty.
Don't listen to Marty. Don't listen to Marty or Clay.
So Clay, hold on. Hold on. We got to get you on the record here, though. At least for the AFC. So you like the Patriots.
Yeah.
Do you like Jacksonville over Buffalo? I know you've been high on Buffalo, or you do? Okay.
You know, I do because Jacksonville is going to be playing at home. Hopefully Trevor Lawrence won't get the yips because if he just keeps playing the way he's playing, it's house money with them too. Those guys are going to take it.
And how about Pittsburgh and Houston? Houston traveling to Pittsburgh on Monday night.
Did you say Pittsburgh?
The team that got in because the Ravens missed a field goal and fired their coach.
Crazy.
Yes.
They won't go any further than Houston. That's it. They're done. And that's it. That's it, guys. It's a wrap.
Okay.
Patriots, Houston, Jaguars, and we'll see
Denver.
And Denver's going to come out of it later, so we'll see what happens there.
Hey, I'm sure.
Good luck, guys. Have fun. Have fun. I'm getting out of your hair.
You have fun, Clay.
You guys show.
You have fun being out of here on vacation.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye, Clay. Thanks so much as always. so great here on the show. And Clay, I'm sure I wanted to ask him too, but he was itching to get out of there. Let us run the show here, and I'm sure no tears lost with the news of the Dolphins firing Mike McDaniel, who Clay has been a great critic of here on the show.
Years.
He has called him every name under the sun here on the show. Mike McDaniel, no longer the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. A lot of firings this week and past week here to end the season in the NFL. 8 teams firing their coaches. Obviously, we saw midway through the year the Tennessee Titans firing their coach, and we saw a few weeks after that the Giants firing Brian Daboll, of course, and then to end the year, of course, we saw Atlanta say thank you to Raheem Morris. No thanks for you, Raheem. You're done. Miami obviously firing Mike McDaniel, and of course the Raiders one and done with Pete Carroll. Question: will Pete ever coach again in the NFL? I think a lot of people had some hope for the Raiders going into this year with Geno Smith, and it just didn't work out in Vegas, and they own the number 1 pick heading into the NFL draft. And, of course, the biggest one, I think, we also talk about Cleveland and Kevin Stefanski being fired and Arizona moving on from Jonathan Gannon, too. And we'll see what type of team that the Cardinals are to be with or without Kyler Murray. Exactly. But, of course, the biggest firing, before we talk about, of course, the wild card in the NFC, I just want to talk about this firing for a minute. John Harbaugh here, the second longest tenured coach in the NFL.
19 years.
Yeah, just about. Just
19 years.
Just behind Mike Tomlin. Obviously winning a Super Bowl and a lot of regular season success. Other than the Super Bowl when there really wasn't a whole lot of playoff success under John Harbaugh, with whether it was Joe Flacco, whether it was Lamar Jackson. Gentlemen, out of these teams right now, the 8 teams, what's the go-to destination? What coach is going to be able to come in and make an immediate impact with looking at some of these teams right now, especially the ones who said thanks but no thanks to their respective head coaches?
I think the go-to destination for me would be a team like Atlanta.
Really?
Yeah, even though
you're riding high on Michael Penix Jr. there and Bijan Robinson.
More likely Bijan Robinson, and the fact that Kyle Pitts actually showed up this year.
Finally, we were waiting.
Finally,
we were waiting.
Yeah, it's been years, but the fact that he showed up, so you've got a quality tight end, you've got a quality running back. I think you can hold on to your boy Kirk Cousins for another year. Let him run him out there. I don't know, even if you need to pick up someone in the draft this year.
Well, Atlanta's kicking themselves because they ended the year with the same record as both Carolina and Tampa. If they had one more win, they would have made the playoffs.
But the crazy thing about it is they won out at the end of the year, and they still fired their coach.
Exactly.
So
Oh, well.
I was like,
sorry, Raheem.
Exactly. You tried.
Let's head back to the phones. Wayne, I missed you, my friend, last week. Good morning.
Kevin, good morning. Happy New Year. Welcome back.
Thank you. You as well.
Good morning, Wayne.
Thank you very much. Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning, Wayne.
I'd like to know, looking at the Boston Celtics, I was looking at them with the glass half empty instead of half full. To have Tatum come back would be a great problem for this team. I was just thinking about the lineup possibilities that Missoula can come up with this team, and I do not want them to do too much tinkering in the trade season. Is there anyone in the G League that we can bring up that we don't have to give up any of the current roster to help give us a rest when Tatum come back?
It's a good point.
Good point.
We do have a couple of guys on the bench that don't really get any playing time. That's center Williams, and then you've got the kid that we got from I think it is Toronto. What's his name? Boucher or something like that.
Yeah,
they don't really give those guys too much run. So I think that you can actually find what you need right there on the bench. It's just
correct.
It's just what Joe has going on right now is good. You know, the Hugo Gonzalez's and the Jordan Walsh's.
Manat as well.
Exactly.
Yeah,
but Manat's playing time has stepped back a little bit. He's not getting as much because I think the appearance of Jordan Walsh and Hugo Gonzalez has really, kind of dampen what Manat does.
But you also have people that are stepping in and taking lead of the team. You got Jaylen Brown, Peyton Pritchard, who are really stepping up in Tatum's absence, you know. So, I mean, I think that the team right now is satisfied. Everyone's in a good spot, and I think that they're doing well.
So that's the reason I don't think they should even rush Tatum back. Tatum should just take his time, if anything.
Wayne,
because I was looking at it as a chemistry issue, but again, it's almost like you have a third line in hockey with what Missoula can come up with these guys.
True. You never see him though.
Yeah, you never see him, but he's bolstering. I think he's bolstering that bench, and he's just trying to, because to keep up with teams like OKC, you got to have a deep bench because they have a deep bench. The Spurs have a deep bench.
No question.
If you want to play in that upper echelon of teams, you got to have a deep bench, and I think that's what he's doing. He's bolstering that bench, and even if we do get Tatum back, that means another player will just have to go to the bench, and it'll be.
Who will that be?
I don't know.
It'd be a great problem to have. Do you have an answer for the NFL, the 49ers?
Not yet, but go ahead if you know it.
The Cincinnati Bengals.
The Cincinnati Bengals. 49ers beat them
Wayne.
26-21 in that game. And you remember the catch, right, Wayne?
Oh yeah,
of course. Yeah. Well, Wayne, I gotta tell you just about the Celtics quickly. If you had told me, or anybody had told us, that the Celtics at this point on 10 days into the new year would be 24-13, second in the Eastern Conference right now, 4 games out of first place for the Detroit Pistons, without Jason Tatum and with all the trades and everything this year, the retooling of the team, I would have called you crazy. But the Celtics right now are playing well, and I think you used the correct term, Wayne, and that's chemistry. And so it's going to be an interesting conundrum here. What happens when Jason Tatum, when and if he's ready to come back? And obviously we would expect him, with all seems to be going well, for him to come back at some point. And even for the Celtics to make, it's a good problem to have. Exactly right, Craig. To make a deep playoff run. Who would have thought? Who would have thought this year for the Celtics?
Right.
We're playing with house money right now.
Exactly right. House money. Heard that before.
Gentlemen, have a great day.
You too.
You too, Wayne.
Back home, Kevin.
Thank you, Wayne. Appreciate it. Always a pleasure, my friend. Talk to you soon. All right.
Well, Clay was down on the Celtics early.
I know he was. Oh, he was.
He didn't believe?
He didn't believe. I had to have a talk with him.
We had some woeful.
He didn't believe when Tatum went out?
No.
Or before that?
We had spoke earlier in the season, like right in the beginning.
Okay.
He was like, "Oh man, this is a waste. This is a lost season. We might as well forget about it." And I was like, "No." I said, "I think Joe Mazzulla actually likes this type of adversity. He thrives on this.
I think so too.
He'd rather have a bunch of mediocre players with 1 or 2 stars."
Right.
And
so you're saying he'd rather be in the position that he's in? Yeah.
Because it actually gets him going,
Yeah.
So.
We had some very woeful discussions on the Celtics in the offseason and to begin the year. So it's nice to be in this predicament now here.
Indeed it is.
Across all Boston sports.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for the most part. Well, for the most part. Yeah. Exactly right. Gentlemen, just quickly back to the question on the coach, and then I want to get back into these matchups here. So, Clay, you think Atlanta would be one of the most prime destinations?
Yeah, I do.
What about a team like the Giants, obviously, who have had all sorts of issues? But seriously, though, you look at Jackson Dart, a young quarterback. You have talent on the defensive side with Abdul Carter. You've got Neighbors, obviously. You've got a number of different guys. Cam Scatabo. I mean,
Yeah,
he came out of
Scatabo.
nowhere, you know.
Yeah,
So
indeed he did.
does a team like the Giants, if you're a head coaching prospect, interest you at all?
It should.
Don't hold your breath.
It should, but organization-wise, it's just a bag organization.
Yeah.
Right.
I think the Giants and the Jets are pretty much on the same level.
It's a lot of broken pieces though
Yeah.
that you got to build back
So
up. I
even-
mean, the Giants are 4-13.
Exactly. Even when you get a team, even when you have a team that has pieces, because even the Jets had pieces at one time, the Giants have pieces now. It seems like it's a dysfunctionality that, from the top down that makes it not matter.
How do you fix that, Kevin?
I think you fix it by bringing in a veteran head coach like a John Harbaugh. I mean, honestly, I think someone like John Harbaugh, if he is to go to the Giants, is going to be able to go in there and actually make an immediate impact. I really do. I think it would be. And listen, I didn't think Brian Daboll was a bad coach. It just didn't work out. It just didn't work out. They made some questionable personnel choices, and they obviously had a lot of injuries, and it's a very young team. But I think you bring in a veteran-minded head coach like John Harbaugh, who's won before, helped develop Jackson Dart in his second year. And I think the sky's the limit. It could be. So I'm not ready to predict the Giants to win the Super Bowl next year. But I think they could be a little bit better than 4-13 if they bring in the right coach.
Who do you think has a better chance, the Giants or the Jets?
Oh, the Giants, absolutely. The Giants, absolutely. The Jets are just the Jets don't deserve to be in the NFL.
They just had a freaking garage sale,
and they didn't fire anybody. They didn't fire anybody. They bring back Aaron Glenn for the second year.
But I think they're giving Aaron Glenn a chance only because of what he did in Detroit.
Correct.
So they give him a couple of years at least to see.
A couple of years with 3-14.
I understand.
I look at the team like the Ravens, who will have Lamar Jackson, who have the pieces. I think you bring in whoever the coach is. I think that's a playoff team, especially with an interesting division, which you never know what the other three teams are going to be. With Burrow, you never know if he's going to be the Joe Burrow who went to the Super Bowl, or Joe Burrow who gets hurt all the time. Who knows with Cleveland? They're going to have a new head coach, and who's going to be the starting quarterback, whether it's Deshaun Watson, Dylan Gabriel, or even Shadur. Who knows what the Browns.
People forget Deshaun Watson is still sitting there.
Correct.
Yeah.
I think that I wouldn't, if I'm a head coach, I say I'm staying away from Cleveland, that's for sure. And then you look at Miami, what's going to go on with their situation, whether it's Tua, whether it's a different quarterback down there, and then, of course, Arizona, as I mentioned, Kyler Murray, and then whether to do with him. And I think another interesting piece, too, is Tennessee. You've got some pieces there with Cam Ward, obviously, who the number one pick, and we'll see what happens with the Titans. So all interesting in Vegas, too. Who knows? They're going to have the number one pick, and Tom Brady's the minority owner and going to try to find a great head coach. And so a lot of interesting head coaching decisions to be made here in the coming weeks here in the NFL season. Gentlemen, I took the Patriots, obviously, against the Chargers. I'm going to take Jacksonville over Buffalo, and I'm going to take Houston on the road against Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers. Before we head to our commercial break, your picks on the AFC matchups here in the wild card before we head to the NFC.
As I said, I'm also going with the Patriots. I'm going to go with the Texans over the Steelers, and I'm going with Jacksonville.
There we go.
As well.
He's riding the Jaguars train.
That's right.
Marty?
You were Jacksonville, Kevin?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I think everyone's on the same page here.
All right, there we go. Patriots, Texans, and the Jaguars all around. Texans favored by 3 on the road in Pittsburgh. Jaguars favored by 1.5 at home against Buffalo. And the Patriots favored by 3.5 at Gillette Sunday night against Justin Herbert and the Chargers. Drake May going to be running around a lot with the pretty stout Chargers defense here, particularly in their secondary.
Tickets are only $130.
Oh, you want to go? Are you going to buy for all of us?
What?
Only?
No, I'm going to call Clay and see if we can use his American Grace Sports Card Network.
Yeah. There we go. All right, gentlemen, before we get to the NFC, do want to say hello to a couple of other great sponsors here. Of course, who's hungry, huh? The Early American Diner in Quincy, and, of course, our great real estate sponsor, Oyama Investments. Saying hello to them here is the Amazing Grace Sports Network. Well, we do roll on right here on WEZE.
Where do you go for the best breakfast and the best lunch in the South Metro Boston Quincy area? You go to the Early American Diner located at 1054 Hancock Street in Quincy. From their strawberry shortcake French toast to their famous corned beef hash for breakfast to the lunch menu, which includes a variety of burgers and specialty sandwiches such as the Waldorf turkey made with roasted turkey, apple slices, and walnuts. So, whether you want to dine in their cozy restaurant, take out, or have it delivered, the Early American Diner in historic Quincy, Massachusetts is your go-to eatery to enjoy great food at great prices at your convenience.
Well, I know the Early American Diner is a great favorite of Clay Morrison for all the folks who love that type of. Well, they got all sorts of food there. That is for sure here.
It's a great spot.
One of our great sponsors here of the Amazing Grace Sports Network. Another great sponsor here. If you're looking for a place to, call your home, we want to welcome you to Oyama Investments, where your dreams do find a foundation at Oyama Investments. They're more than just your usual real estate firm. They're your trusted partner, building a secure future, whether you're investing in a property that will grow with you or purchasing your dream home. They do make the process easy, transparent, and rewarding as well. They specialize in finding properties that align perfectly with your goals, matching yourself, owning a piece of the future. Whether it be a luxury apartment, a commercial space, or a family home in the perfect neighborhood. Well, if you're new to the real estate investment world, do not worry. They're here every step of the way, helping you make informed choices with confidence. Those real estate prices rising. There's never been a better time to invest, ready to see your dreams come to life. Visit their website, www.oyamainvestments.com. Give them a call as well. Their number, 617-221-8881 today, where your vision becomes a reality. That's our good friends at Oyama Investments. All righty. I want to thank them, of course, Oyama Investments, the Early American, and, of course, the Philcom Computer Center, Dillon's and Karma as well, great sponsors that allow us to sit here every Saturday morning for an hour and talk about all things in the sports world. Gentlemen, assuming we have nothing really else to talk about in the AFC for the wild card matchups, why don't we head to the NFC here with great matchups and two NFC matchups kicking off later today and into the evening here. The first matchup we already saw once this year with Carolina and the LA Rams. Carolina getting into the playoffs as the 4th seed by virtue of the fact that somebody had to win the NFC South, and they did it with help as well. Exactly. Losing to the Buccaneers in a Week 18 matchup we saw last Saturday night. They couldn't win that game down in Tampa Bay, and well, thanks to Kirk Cousins and the Atlanta Falcons beating the Saints. The Panthers are in. They welcome, yes, indeed, the 12-5 Matthew Stafford-led L.A. Rams to town. We already saw Carolina in a surprising upset against this same Rams team in Carolina just a couple of weeks ago on November the 30th. Carolina beating the Rams 31-28. Matthew Stafford, obviously an MVP type year. The conversation has been, who's the MVP going to be? Is it going to be Drake May? Is it going to be Matthew Stafford? I think that's an open question so far. I don't think anyone has the real answer for that yet. But in this case, the Rams vary by 10.5. As much as I'd like to take the underdog here, and I really like what Bryce Young has been able to do this year, and even though you never like to see a team go into the playoffs with a losing record, it just the NFC South was that this year. At this case, with the experience of the Rams team, with the weapons, Devontae Adams is back. I like Matthew Stafford on the road in Carolina this afternoon to kick off wildcard weekend here 100%. In the NFC.
And I agree with you.
Well, they're 12-5.
Yeah.
Well, not just that, 12-5, obviously, but also the fact that they have experience. They've won a Super Bowl, and a team that has not been to the playoffs in Carolina. A lot of those guys have never really have been to the playoffs. Bryce Young has never been, and so I think the sky's the limit for him. I think it's going to be a very interesting race going forward in the NFC South with the Saints, with who knows with the Falcons, and just a really disappointing for Tampa Bay, a team that was
started off hot.
We're looking at them against the Patriots like the 6-2, and people talk about Baker Mayfield being the MVP. At one point I said, yeah, of course. I mean, the way he's playing, and then it just completely the wheels fell
right off. It was the injuries.
And the injuries and inconsistencies. I mean, Baker really at times had nobody to throw to. But they're bringing back Todd Bowles for another year. I know Clay's not happy about that one. I know that. But we'll see what happens. But in this case, I take the Rams against the Panthers in Carolina.
Me too. What about you, Craig?
I agree.
Right. Los Angeles. You think that Clay's taking the Panthers?
No. I take the Rams. No.
I know the Rams aren't falling into the trap again.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so. Again, the Rams favored by 10.5 in that game. And then a big one tonight in the third installment of this series this year, and an NFC North matchup in Chicago.
This will be a good game.
The Packers
This will
coming
be a good
in
game.
limping, coming in injured. They 9-7-1. They've lost 4 games in a row to end the year. They're lucky they played so well to begin the year, because with the way Minnesota finished the year, Minnesota finished at 9-8, had a chance if they won 1 or 2 more games to leapfrog the Packers. But that being said, the Packers are here in the playoffs again under Matt LaFleur. Jordan Love, he is confirmed. He will be starting. He is back. Caleb Williams in his first start in the NFL playoffs here with a great year it has been for the Chicago Bears in year 1 under Ben Johnson at 11-6. The two teams split the season series this year, and the one we saw last couple of weeks ago on December the 20th with Chicago winning 22-16 and a crazy finish to that game. In that case, without Micah Parsons, with the inconsistencies we've seen from the Packers, even though they do have more experience in the playoffs, they haven't done anything with that in the playoffs under Jordan Love. I love what I see from Caleb Williams. Why not? Why not take the Bears at home?
I'm taking
Why
the Bears.
not take the Bears at home? Craig? Oh, he doesn't know. He doesn't know.
What?
I guess I'll take the Bears,
All
even
right.
though that defense scares me.
Yeah. And actually, too, this is very fascinating. Obviously, the Bears and the Packers have played each other more than any really other teams in the NFL.
Exactly.
But playoff matchups between these two teams have been very rare. Been very rare. But another chapter, obviously, in a long rivalry between these two teams. And obviously, the Bears, they haven't been in the playoffs since they're hosting a home playoff game for the first time since 2018. Everyone remembers that doink. Remember the field goal against the Philadelphia Eagles in that wild card loss. Exactly right. And obviously the Packers who really dominated this rivalry. You look at under the Aaron Rodgers era with Chicago, just had some really dismal years.
Indeed. They couldn't find the quarterback.
Here and there. They thought it was going to be Mitch Trubisky. They thought it would be Justin Fields. And now I think, knock on wood, with the head coach, obviously Ben Johnson, I think they found their guy in Caleb Williams. So
exactly.
In this one tonight, 8 o'clock in Chicago, I like the Bears over the Packers at home.
I'm going to have to go with you.
Okay.
Going with the Bears.
There we go. But I would not be surprised, though, if the Packers Packers do take care of business here. And it has been a while since these two teams
been up and down
have
all
faced off each
season,
other.
so it's hard.
They really have.
Yeah.
Listen, I was really high on the Packers to begin the year, and they came out firing.
And then when they got Micah, I thought, they were
I mean,
going to roll.
I remember the first game of the year, they came out firing against the Detroit Lions. Exactly. Like, this team is going to take over the NFC North. And I thought at one point that this team would go to the Super Bowl, and they just sort of felt like another team that just fell off the bus.
Yeah.
And it's they're lucky they're here because
it's a long, grueling season.
It certainly is. It certainly is. Some injuries as well, too, and to a great tight end, Tucker Kraft, who tore his ACL, who had a tremendous year. But Jordan Love has some weapons. Obviously, got Josh Jacobs in the backfield, and so we'll see how the Bears defense responds to that. So 2 games there in the NFC, and, of course, the other NFC matchup here, tomorrow afternoon kickoff in Philadelphia at 4:30 between the defending Super Bowl champions, the Philadelphia Eagles. They welcome Kyle Shanahan, Brock Purdy, and his crew, Christian McCaffrey, the San Francisco 49ers, just coming off a loss to the Seattle Seahawks at home in a game that determined who was going to win the NFC West and who was going to be the number 1 seed. Well, it's not San Francisco because they had to travel to Philly. It's Seattle, of course, the number 1 seed in the NFC. They traveled, the San Francisco 49ers to the Eagles. The Eagles losing the final game of the year to the Washington Commanders, 24-17. Had they won that game, well, they would have hosted the Green Bay Packers as opposed to hosting the 49ers. I think in this case, I'd rather have hosted the Packers than the 49ers. Give me the 49ers on the road, even though the 100%. Eagles are favored by 6 in this game. I think it's a little high.
Yeah.
I have not been sold on the Eagles this year.
All season.
They have, despite the fact winning the NFC East 11-6. To me, at times, we've seen they've been great. Obviously, dynamic Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, Saquon Barkley. That being said, it's not been as strong this year. And so I like the 49ers in an upset on the road with a healthy Brock Purdy.
And Christian McCaffrey. I got a question, though, Kevin. Do you think Christian McCaffrey has a good chance of winning the MVP?
I mean, he's going to get
even though now the MVP has shifted to, I think, QB VP is, I think I should say. But, I mean, Christian McCaffrey has a strong chance here.
And has been consistent all season.
Well, I think
100%.
I think he's got a strong chance. Do I think he's going to win the MVP? I don't think so. I think it's the MVP's, in my opinion, is either going to go to Matthew Stafford or it's going to go to Drake May. And I think Christian McCaffrey could finish 3rd in that conversation. I think he could finish in the top 5. But I just don't think, in this case, with the way both Drake May and Matthew Stafford have thrown the ball this year with all the stats, I don't think Christian McCaffrey would win enough MVP votes to win. But it's an interesting conversation to have, and he's well deserving of it. There's
and
no
that's the thing
about it.
That's the thing is he's worked hard this season, and even though Drake May is too, but I mean Christian McCaffrey I think has just come in at a different angle. I'm going to go with the 49ers.
All right, 49ers on the road against the Eagles here to close
I'm
out.
Skeptical. I don't really know which one because I don't know which team is going to show up. Philly has been up and down, and San Fran, they've been decimated by injuries, especially on the defensive side.
True.
So what I've seen, Robert Saleh is playing a real simple defense. Like, we're going to just beat you up front, and, hopefully.
You got Brock Purdy hitting the gritty, though.
This is true. You can work on that gritty, too, but.
You see that, Kevin?
I'm
you didn't see that.
You guys, I'm going with San Fran.
San Fran.
Yeah,
Well, listen, I mean, San Francisco obviously has one of the most prolific offenses.
indeed they do.
In the country here, with Brock Purdy, with
Christian McCaffrey.
with Kittle,
Right.
with all the other weapons here. But they stalled out
Yeah.
last week against Seattle. They in the 13-3 loss. So you're right, Craig. What team is going to show up with both these teams here?
Exactly.
Robert Saleh, you mentioned him
Yeah.
with the defense, with all the injuries they've had. You think
He's
Robert Saleh gets another shot at a head coaching job going forward?
Someone's going to give him a chance just because of what he's done. They were decimated. They lost anybody who was anybody on that defense, and he still was able to put some quality effort in each of those games.
Right.
Even though they might not have won some, might have lost some, but he definitely put out a quality effort. And it was real simple. He wasn't doing any schemes. He'd pretty much just line you up man to man and hope that front four beats you
Exactly.
and gets there.
Exactly.
Good
so
job.
There we go. Craig, Marty, and I were pretty much in agreement, I think, on all those picks for wild card weekend. Of course, Monday night we've got the Steelers and the Texans, and obviously the quarterback here, Aaron Rodgers, who's got the most playoff experience out of anybody here in the NFL playoffs this year. But that being said, with the way Houston has come out with their defense to end the year, I think they're going to cause a lot of problems for Aaron Rodgers going forward. And so, like I said, I'm going to take the Texans on the road against Aaron Rodgers in Pittsburgh on a cold Monday night there in the Steel City.
Also, another agreement. I'm going to take the Texans with you.
All right.
Aaron Rodgers too old. He doesn't like to get hit, and that defense hits people.
And they're lucky. They're lucky they're in the playoffs. Do you think the Ravens fire John Harbaugh if they don't miss the field goal, or do you think that was a done deal?
I think it was a done deal, but I think it would have just been further on. Like, they would have eventually lost.
Right.
Because you can just look at the record of the Ravens all season. They didn't deserve to be there.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Yeah. It's an interesting race always in the AFC North. Always feels like it's coming down to the wire.
Battle.
It's always a battle. But the Browns seldom are ever in it. That's for sure. Well, gentlemen,
they have the sack leader.
Exactly right. Who likes being in Cleveland, which is amazing to me,
Does he?
Well, he says he does.
Or was it just the money?
Money talks.
There it is.
That's for sure. Gentlemen, the final about 2.5 minutes remaining here. Do want to mention just quickly, we have a national championship to discuss quickly in college football between number 10 Miami and number 1 Indiana. Fabian Mendoza, Kurt Signetti, a great year for the Hoosiers. Who would have thought that Indiana, for football, college football, leading the number 1 team in the country, 15-0.
An undefeated team.
They have made mincemeat of Alabama. Yeah. They made mincemeat last night of Dan Lanning and his Oregon team. And
that Oregon game was something else.
I think they are going to make the same mincemeat over Miami, who a lot of people are surprised that they're here. But, hey, just goes to show, just like in the NFL, just like in any sport, playoffs change anything. It's a whole new season. And Mario Cristobal, obviously the Hurricanes didn't even play in the ACC championship. And here they are contending, and they are here for a national championship. Indiana looking for their first ever NCAA championship. I like them coming up on January the 19th. So I think we'll have another week to talk about here. But that's the matchup. Big win last night, Friday night, Indiana over Oregon. And, of course, we saw Miami take care of Ole Miss, who beat Georgia, and the whole Lane Kiffin and his assistants. And if you're a player on Ole Miss, I mean, how do you feel like that? Your coaches, 1 week to go to Baton Rouge, then they're back to Oxford, then they're back here, this and that, and the whole saga was just insane. And I think they handled it well, but not an easy situation.
Not an easy situation, especially when your coach leaves you.
Right.
But I think they had something to prove. They played a hell of a game. They played a heck of a game the other day.
Yep.
That was a barn burner in itself. They tried all the way down to the end. But But the thing about Lane Kiffin is, that's the type of coach he is.
Yeah, that's for sure.
He moves around.
No shock there. So we look forward to that matchup between the Hoosiers of Indiana and the Hurricanes of Miami. Obviously, Indiana and Kurt Signetti.
I'm going with you with the Hoosiers.
A great year, and I think a presumptive number 1 overall pick, Fabian Mendoza. Fabian, hope you're starting to look at homes in Vegas because they're calling your name in just a couple of months here. Gentlemen, the final 40 seconds. Hey, I think we did a pretty good job without our leader here, huh? And it was great to hear from Clay as well. And Clay, again, thank you very much, my friend. A well-deserved break, and look forward to hearing from you and seeing you again. And enjoy your time, no doubt about it. Craig Morris, Marty Simmons, thank you very much. And thank you to all our friends out there listening, calling in. As always, this has been another edition of the Amazing Grace Sports Network here on WEZE, live here this morning on Saturday morning. We rebroadcast, of course, on the radio, WROL, every Sunday morning as well at 11 a.m. And my friends, enjoy this rest your weekend, the 10th day of the new year, January the 10th. Back next week. Same time, same place.
Be safe, everyone.
For the
Have a
Amazing
good one,
Grace
everyone.
Sports Network. And go Patriots here.
Go Pats. Go Pats.
Build your life upon the rock.